Assalamualaikum. Good morning, grade 5. Please open your English student book 5, unit 3, page number 18. Describe your home to a friend. Imagine that he or she has never seen it. Help him or her to build up a mental picture of it. Now, over here, you have to describe your home. You all know what your home looks like, right? Now, so in unit 3, we're going to read about a description, and this description is about a childhood home. Let's start our reading. The house we lived in was a small wooden building on stilts with dazzling whitewashed walls. There were windows and doors at the front and back. We had two bedrooms which were the scene of many pillow fights and trampoline sessions, an airy kitchen with a large window where we also ate our meals, and finally a sitting room where no one was allowed except on special occasions or when we had visitors. Now this is a house description, and in this house, this is of made of small wooden building. This was a small wooden building. It had dazzling whitewashed walls, really nice and clean, shining whitewashed walls. There were windows and doors at the front and back, so it was an airy house. Then they had two bedrooms, and those after that two bedrooms they also had an airy kitchen. There was also a large sitting room finally, but no one was allowed in their home to enter that sitting room. Their mother did not let them make noise or go inside that sitting room because that was only for special guests. Right? Let's start reading paragraph 2. This room was my mother's pride and joy. Its brilliant white curtains always smelled fresh, and the mahogany furniture was always highly polished, as was the wooden floor. My sister and I spent hours polishing and shining that room from as far as I can remember. We had to spend hours polishing and shining that room from as far as I can remember. We had to do the polishing before we left for school each day. The comfortable wooden chairs were draped with the crisp white lace headrest, and the round table, which we ate from on Sundays, had a crisp doily in center, on which sat a vase of glorious flesh flowers. These were from our small front garden, which was full of sweet-smelling flowers and shrubs such as beautiful flame red hibiscus, which seemed to attract swarms of exquisite butterflies and hovering hummingbirds in search of nectar. Now, in this paragraph, first of all, we are told about that sitting room in which no one is allowed to go. In that sitting room, they had white curtains, right? White, beautiful curtains that always smelled very nice. And the furniture was made of mahogany. Now, what is mahogany? It is a kind of wood, right? The floor and the furniture was made of it, and it was always polished, always very clean. Now, Viola Benjamin says that there was also a wooden chair that was very comfortable, right? It was covered with crisp white lace headrest, means that wooden chair was all covered with white cushions. And there was a round table on which they used to eat food only on Sundays. And there was also a small piece of linen placed under the bowl or a dish. And there was a vase in their sitting room which was always filled with fresh flowers. And where did those flowers come from? Those flowers come from their backyard or their garden. Now, what else was there? There were shrubs in their gardens, there were swans, right? And there were beautiful butterflies and hummingbirds who always used to hover all around in search of nectar because they had so many flowers, so many wonderful plants in their garden that there used to be many butterflies and hummingbirds. Let's come to our next paragraph. The backyard was where Marmee grew vegetables for our kitchen, like pigeon peas, cassowaries, okra, and dasheen. A tall bushy tree stood in the yard. reaching up to the kitchen window. And whenever one of us had a bad cold, Marmee would pick some of the leaves, boil them, and give us the veal tasting liquid to drink. It was always made us better. I guess the thought of a second dose was enough to do the trick. Now, what is told in this paragraph? In this paragraph, we are told about their backyard. We can see the scene of their backyard. You can imagine that there are pigeon peas, there are cassowaries, there are okra, dasheen in their backyard. What is cassowaries? It is a kind of a tree, right? There were different kind of trees, shrubs, plants in their backyard, and they also used to grow vegetables which they used at home. And whenever someone used to get sick, Marmee used to take some leaves or some shrubs or roots from there, and she used to make a drink for them and used to give it to everyone, and that would do the trick. They did not have to take any other medicine. It was enough to get well. In next paragraph, also in the yard was a galvanized shower unit where we had our baths. There was no hot water, but the cold water was always warm because of the heat of the sun. During the drought season, from around January to May, we would have to get water from the standpipe in the street. Everyone would queue up with large enamel buckets, oil cans, basins, anything big enough to carry the water. Now, in this paragraph, we are told that they had in their backyard they also had a shower unit, and that was made of metal, and that metal never got rust. In their backyard there was no hot water for shower, but the water was always warm. Why was it always warm? It was always warm because of the heat of the sun. And she has also told us that during the drought season they always had to get water from the street pipe, and there used to be big lines of people, big queues of people waiting for their turn to get water. They used to get water in buckets, in oil cans, in basins, or something very hard substance that could had a cover or hold much water. People used to take these things to the pipe and get water from there. Now, in this chapter, Philomela Benjamin had told us about her childhood home. She is describing her childhood home, that what kind of home did she have. She told us that how many rooms she had. She had 4 rooms, from which there were 2 bedrooms, 1 kitchen and a sitting room. Then she told us that she had a backyard and a garden, and in their yard Marmee used to grow many vegetable shrubs, flowers, trees, and there always used to be butterflies and hummingbirds hovering around over there, and you can see a very beautiful scene of the yard. Then she also describes her sitting room. Her sitting room is very beautiful, and children are not allowed there to make a mess. No one goes there, it is only for guests. It is covered with beautiful curtains and beautiful wooden floor and wooden furniture, which smelled of great polish, and it was wonderful. Let's come to our vocabulary. Here are some words and their meanings are given. Now let's come to question answers on page number 19. Question 1. How many rooms were there in Florela's childhood home? What were they? Now as we have read the lesson, we all know there were 4 rooms in her house, and 2 of them were bedrooms, 1 was sitting room and a kitchen. Now, where did the family usually eat? They usually used to eat in their airy kitchen, right? Next is, how did Philomela and her sister help Marmee with the housework? They polished wooden furniture. Now you have read the lesson. You all know the answers to these questions. You have to answer the rest of your questions by yourself. Let's come to vocabulary on page number 20. Find and write as many phrases as you can in the reading passage which describe color. There are many things given, right? There are many things given in the chapter. They're talking about dazzling white curtains. They are talking about flame red hibiscus, and they're talking about the floor, the wooden furniture, and everything. And they all are showing different colors. So you have to find those colors from the lesson. For example, flame red hibiscus, right? Now this flame red color is describing a flower. It is describing the color of a flower. Question number 2 is, which words or phrases does she uses to describe these things? For example, she describes a chair as very comfortable and it is made of wooden. You can also say there were cushions on it, right? So in this way you are given different things and you have to describe that in which way does she describes them. Number 3 is, find synonyms in the reading passage for the words in the bold type. For example, the sentence says the curtains were dazzling white. So over here you have to change this dazzling with the synonym and you can write the curtains were brilliant white. In this way you have to do rest of the question. Now let's come to page number 21. Page number 21, language, the sentence. Remember, a sentence is a group of words which contains a subject and a verb and expresses a complete idea. So what is a sentence? Basically it is a group of words. It is made of many words and it also has a subject. It also has a verb, and a sentence always expresses a complete idea. We always get a complete idea from a sentence. Look at this different type of sentences. Now, Flaubert Benjamin was born in Trinidad. Now this is a statement. Now what is a question? Question is, where does she live now? It has a question mark in the end, right? Then we have an instruction. Skim the text to find the answers. Now instruction. This is an instruction. They are telling us what to do. Now let's come to a request. Could you help me to polish the furniture, please? This is a request. Someone is requesting us something. Now these are 4 kind of sentences given. What you have to do is you have to read these sentences on page number 21 and then say which type of sentences they are. Whether it is a statement, it is a question, it is an instruction, or it is a request. Next is, every sentence contains a subject and a verb. Many sentences also contain an object. For example, my sister and I are subject. These are the people we're talking about. Polished is a verb, as we all know. Verb is an action word, and object is the furniture. This is the thing we are talking about. The object of the sentence is the person or thing which receives the action. Ask whom or what after the verb to help you find the object of the sentence. For example, what did Falila and his sister polish? We can say they polished the furniture. In this way we will know the object. Now copy and complete this table. For example, the girls picked fresh flowers. In this, the girls are the one who we are talking about, so it would be subject. Picked would be the verb, and what did they pick? They picked fresh flowers, so this would be object. In this way you have to do the sentences on page number 22, question number 3. Now let's come to question number 4, page number 22. Let's come to page number 22. We often add extra detail to the sentences to make them more interesting. The additions to the sentences can be called the extension. Phrases that answer how, why, when, how much, or how often in relation to the verb ate are extensions. They can also add detail to the nouns in the sentence, right? For example, this is a sentence, my sister and I polished the furniture on Sunday. or on Saturdays. Now, what is the subject? My sister and I are the subject. Verb is polished and object is the furniture. Now, we can also say my sister and I polished the furniture. To make this sentence more interesting, we add some detail, and that details is on Sundays or Saturdays. Second sentence is we like movies with happy endings. Now, we is the subject, like is the verb, movies is the object. So we have to add extra details, and that extra detail is with happy endings. We like the movies with happy endings. In this way, you have to do question number 3 on page 22. You are given some words. You have to match these words with these sentences given 1 to 8. Let's come to word study, page number 23. We use our 5 senses to observe the world around us. We can use these sense impressions to create word pictures. The writer of the reading passage uses sense impressions to build up a picture of her childhood home. Now, for example, we use different kind of phrases. Our 5 senses, for example, we can hear, we can smell, we can touch, we can see, right? And we can also taste. By using these 5 senses, we can tell what a person eats, or what a person is looking at, or what that person could hear. So using these 5 senses, we have to give great words and phrases. For example, brilliant white curtains. What do you get? Brilliant white curtains. When we say brilliant white curtains, it appeals to our sense of sight. We can imagine that those curtains would be wonderful, very clean, very white, and smells good. For example, full of sweet smelling flowers. Now, sweet smelling flowers is something that appeals our sense of smell. We can imagine how beautiful smell would those flowers could have. In this way, we can create a picture in our mind. Now, question is, find as many words as you can in the reading passage which appeal to your senses. You have to find as many words as you can from the passage, and then copy this table and write each of the word from exercise 1 in a suitable column. Now, when you will find these words, after finding these words, you have to write sight, hearing, touch, taste, or smell. For example, dazzling. Dazzling is something that we can see. You have to write something that you can hear. For example, the sounds of hummingbirds. Then you have to tell something you can touch, taste, or smell. Now let's come to the writing part. Write a description of a place. Choose a familiar place or view you would like to describe. Over here you have to write as a description of a place. It should be very familiar and you have to describe it. You have to make notes about the following points to help you. You can say what you can see. Then you will say what you could hear. After that you can say what you could smell. And then how you feel when you are there. You have to create a wonderful picture of a place as we have read in our lesson. After reading this lesson, you can imagine that house. What kind of house would it be? In the same way, you have to describe a place over here. Let's come to our homework. Do page number 19, question 1 to 10 on notebooks. Do vocabulary part, page 20, question 1, 2 and 3 on your books. Do page 21, language part, question 1 and 2 on books. Do page 22, part 3 and 4 on book. Do word study, page 23, question 1, 2 and 3 on notebooks. Do writing part on page 23 on notebooks. That's all for today. Thank you.